작가님이 설명하셨던 내용 중에 반자아에 관한 질문이 있습니다. 책에서는 반자아를 최대한 통제하라고 하셨는데 만약에 이를 통제하기 어렵다면 좀 긍정적으로 표출할 수 있는 구체적인 방법이 있을까요? 궁금합니다.
안녕하세요, 코치마이크 here. I just had this arrive. Chigaway Ja? Kind of. Anyways, I'm so excited that it arrived. And I wrote Best Self, as you can see in the book. There's a photo of the wizard. That is my best self, but this is the one in the book. Anyway, I get asked a series of different questions, and you all are asking amazing questions in the comments here on YouTube, and I'm doing my best to answer them. Like I said, this is a book that was written as if you're working with me as a life coach, and the exercises in the book are the types of exercises that I do with my clients for over 15 years now. So, the question for this week, you said we need to suppress our anti-self. If I find it difficult to fully control it, how do I express myself in a positive way? Well, I think we all have, life is not black and white. And so at different times, our anti-self does come out. The number one key is to be aware of it. So the fact that you're actually aware of how you're behaving and how it is being your anti-self is the first step to understanding how to decrease it a little bit. Also, this is progress, not perfection. And so for some of you who are trying to be perfectionists on working with yourself, we're all a work in progress, and life happens and new situations happen. And the key to this is to not beat yourself up when you're working on yourself. For many people, they have a negative critic in their head. So if our head had a dinner table and there was a dinner table with 8 people at it that were our own voices, for a lot of people, there's a few seats at the table that are negative and mean and not kind. And the idea of being your best self is to start to quiet the voice a little bit. And it takes work. So, in order to suppress the anti-self a little bit, it's about figuring out what rituals bring out your best self. I always think it's important to sort, what are you doing first thing in the morning? What is your ritual? Do you greet the day, or does the day greet you? So it's always good to greet the day and figure out what ritual is going to bring out your best self. It's also important to figure out how you end the day. And do you look back at your day and do you give yourself praise and be proud and write down a list of things that you're proud that you accomplished that day? And they can be small things. Sometimes we think we should only be proud of ourselves when we have these huge accomplishments. But the reality is we can be very proud of ourselves for just working on ourselves, for treating others with respect, for being kind, for making a decision that's important and brings more happiness to your life. So the idea is to suppress the anti-self, and everyone I work with, as soon as they're able to identify themselves being their anti-self, they're able to start to decrease it. The reason why I love to create characters in the book is it helps us work on our egos. So if somebody's anti-self is isolated, lonely, and irritated are some of the characteristics. And if any of us were to say to that person, stop being so lonely, or you're acting irritating, or some variation of saying that to them, if we're able to define a character, and for example, my anti-self is a male witch that I describe in Best Self, it's kind of funny, and there's a little bit of humor, and it allows us to stop beating ourselves up, to quiet those voices in the head, and to be easier on ourselves. Because really the anti-self is brought out through fear, disconnected from other people, feelings of inadequacy, irritability, and all the things that we aren't truly at the end of the day. So that's a very good question, and I think hopefully I gave you an answer. Please ask more questions in the comments below. If you're reading Best Self, greatly appreciate it. I'm making these videos for you all because I enjoy doing it, and I love the questions that you're asking. I have a house in which I surround myself with messages that remind me to be my best self. So maybe in the next video, I will have you guys take a look at what are the messages that I surround myself with. And also we can have a discussion around what are the messages that you surround yourself with that make you be your best self. So thank you so much. Hopefully I'm saying this right. I'm learning some Korean, as you can tell. So 안녕. I think that says goodbye. And thank you very much. Bye.